guard today, but I want to work from a particular grip set of collar and sleeve. Okay? And I want to talk about a few things here. I think it's important just on your knees here, Ricky. So we're going to start in close guard. I want to talk about like layering our guard. You might find that you have like a particular grip set that you like or a particular guard, but we want to be able to add layers to our guard. So I think when I am in the close guard here, my priority is still to try and break Pete's posture. I think that's where I'm safest because it's harder for him to open my guard. Here, when his posture is tall, it's going to be easier for him to stand, easier for him to press on my legs and open my guard. So I think when we get to close guard, I still would like to try to like pull him down, control and break his posture, start looking for my cross chokes and that kind of stuff. But if I feel like he's regaining his posture, I can start attacking like a mid-tier level of like my close guard, which would be if he's postured up, grabbing like a hand on the collar, knuckles around the collarbone, and taking the time to roll the sleeve forward for the sleeve control. So our collar and sleeve grips. Again, I'd still try to break his posture first, but if I've conceded that first initial layer, I'm going to use these grips next. Okay? Our first sweep is going to be our scissor sweep. So while I'm here, I'm going to open my guard, making sure my calf still stays like on his hip here, and then wedging my knee right to the middle of the chest. I can strengthen my collar grip by just making sure my knee or my calf and my hand are connected here. If I have my knee in the middle of the chest, which I think is good for sweeping, because he could still double up two hands potentially on my wrist here and break the grip. But if I connect my knee with my hand here, now if he goes to break the grip, it's a little bit harder. He can't really grab like right at my wrist. Okay, so I can use this to kind of maintain my collar grip until I'm ready to sweep. Now I'm going to stretch the sleeve grip up as I stretch myself. So I'm going to use my knee to extend himself or extend me away, and I'm going to use that also to get up to my elbow. Okay. I wish I could give like an exact measure of like 30 centimeters from your partner, but it varies from person to person, right? I'm a little bit shorter, so I'm probably going to have to be a little bit closer than someone who's taller. Okay. So you have to find a spot where you feel like you're stretching your partner out and forcing them to reach. I think that's what you're trying to do. The fact that Pete's leaning here and his arms stretched out, that's a good indicator that I've stretched not enough for my scissor sweep. Okay, so now the last step, I'm going to drop my leg to the floor, chopping both my legs over. Okay. Staying on my elbow, I use my hand on the collar to like pull myself up to mount here. If I could keep the collar grip, I will. Stay heavy on this side though, because with a lot of momentum, he might be able to like roll me over. Exactly, and then I'm forced to remove my hand. So you could, okay. So again, let's take a look at our angle here. Starting in our close guard. I already tried to break the posture, but I'm conceding this like middle layer of my guard now. I open, hip escape, knee in the middle, making sure my hand is connected to my knee here, so it's harder for me to break that collar grip. And worst case, like if you really don't like this or don't feel like you can get it, get your sweep, then of course, I can always pull the close guard again. Knee in the middle, my hand is connected to my knee here, and then I think the most important thing is like stretching your partner out. So you can do as many hip escapes and adjustments as you need, but ultimately when I'm ready, I'm going to stretch his sleeve here and up on my elbow. And again, I think that's the most important part. Even here, I feel like he's stretched out, but I could still probably stretch him out more. So I'm pulling with the grips, but also pushing my knees in as mean as that sounds. I really want this arm lengthened here. Okay, and then as I'm ready to chop, this leg can drop to the floor. You have two options. Either I chop like a scissor here, or if I feel his knee is like really wide here, yeah, and I don't feel like I can chop here, then I can put my foot to the knee, low on the floor, and I can like press as I chop here as well. Okay, I prefer to chop, but if his leg's wide, you might have to use that press instead. Keeping the hand in the collar, hand to the floor, drive myself to mount, and then again, if I need to, my hand can come out for base. Collar and sleeve, open, hip escape away from the grips, knee in the middle, connecting my hand to my knee, extending myself up onto my elbow, and again, if I need to here, I can always like scoop myself back to stretch my elbow, dropping my foot to the floor, chopping him up, pulling myself to mount, hands out for base. And again, you don't have to go scissor sweep first. Of course, once I'm here, I could just start opening and going right away to a collar and sleeve and attacking the triangle. But I think connecting them is really effective to mask our attacks. So I open, hip escape, knee in the middle. He gives me the reaction I was expecting by putting the leg up. So I put my foot to the shoulder. This is gonna help like turn him and create that elbow and knee separation. My foot goes to the hip, and I use that step as like a stepping stool to lift my hips up super high. Okay, and then now I can kick the right leg over, cross the arm as I bite my leg all the way across here. Okay, then now I go to my shin, let go of the collar grip, and use this to attach to the other side here so I can start to pull my head this way. Now when I lock the triangle, you'll see the difference being here where it's weak in their space versus I'm gonna replace my hand with my calf here. And then when I pinch my knees, you can see there's no room for the shoulder. And then now I can pinch my knees together, pull down on the head, and lift my hips for the tap. I open for my scissor sweep, knee in the middle, and that's why it's also important to keep my legs shelved there. Is now that when he steps the leg up, I already have it in a good position. So my foot goes to the shoulder, I'm stretching him away, still pulling on the grips, finding room for my foot to go to the hip, lifting my hips up high. As I bite this, I'm crossing here. Okay, grab my shin, let go of the collar, cupping the shoulder. And then now from here, if I need another adjustment, I can swivel again, but I'm gonna lock it super tight, replacing my hand. If I keep my hand here, I just lock over my ankle, it's loose. So I'm almost replacing my hand with the calf. And then now when I let go, I feel how I can pinch my knee and take to him. And I'm thinking of pressing my knees together, pulling down the head, lifting my hips up for my tap.